everyone, my name is Jennifer Woods, and I am back with another TV movie that aired on Lifetime. This one is from the 90s, The Baby Snatcher, starring Veronica Hamel, Nancy McKeon, David Duchovny, and Michael Madsen. R.I.P. to Madsen, who passed away this month. He's known for several of his feature films, such as Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill, but he's also in this TV movie from 1992. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Have you seen this movie? If so, what did you think? It's based on the real-life abduction and safe recovery of little Rachel Ann White in 1988 in Colorado, but my focus will be on the movie. The movie opens with Bianca, played by Veronica Hamel, getting into bed with her husband Cal, played by Michael Madsen. He informs her that he's decided he doesn't want to be married to her anymore, and guess what? He's already filed for a divorce. So long, have a nice life. He starts to leave, but she chases him out of the house and informs him that she's pregnant. She only just recently found out, and that's why she's telling him now, though the timing is certainly suspicious. Cal can't leave a pregnant wife. It wouldn't look good. He works for the Air Force. Now we meet Karen and her brood. Karen is played by Nancy McKeon. She has 2 young children, an older girl named Jenny and a younger boy named Kevin. They are probably between the ages of 5 to 8, but I'm just guessing. It's off to her job at the pizza parlor for Karen, and she leaves her mother in charge of the household. She gets a ride to work with her lover boy David, played by Duchovny. Karen's made David a present, just a little something she probably spent hours knitting special for him. He's like, great. Where am I going to wear that? He's married to a woman named Anne. He and Karen are having an extramarital affair. Ah, the travails of adultery. Karen thinks she's going to be able to talk her boss into giving her extra maternity leave, but he's reaming out another employee as she arrives, and she's late. Let's just say the talk doesn't go well. She's expected to pull her weight or get the hell out. Hamel, as Bianca, apparently has a job talking to teen girls and their mothers about conflict. This plot line serves no purpose other than to give Hamel the chance to deliver some cheesy lines in an attempt to be relatable to the youth of America. And also, it provides an opportunity for one of the teenagers to note that Bianca is pregnant. Karen is now driving her daughter Jenny home from school. Jenny apparently is the new girl at school and was not invited to a classmate's Halloween party. Hopefully it's not one of those cases where all of the other girls were invited but she wasn't, and they're handing out invitations in school. Hopefully it was just a couple of girls talking about it, and Jenny's exaggerating the gravity of the situation. Karen cheers her up by saying they can butcher her old prom dress because Barbie needs a new dancing outfit. Jenny's eyes light up. Mother and daughter dance to music in the living room later on, and I don't see any cutting being done. Are they going to goof off all night, or are they actually going to get to work on Barbie's dress? The phone rings. It's David calling to bail on plans with Karen. Probably forgot he promised to watch Wheel of Fortune that night with a wife or something. Things are tense between Cal and Bianca. He doesn't say much to her before he leaves for work in the morning. When he returns home later on, he finds her passed out in the baby's room. She'd been stenciling ponies on the wall. He rushes her to the hospital. The doctor tells her she has diabetes, and she might have to seriously consider aborting her much-wanted child. Bianca is like, absolutely not. He's like, you can always try again some other time. She's like, no, this is my one shot. There will be no other time. She tells him not to inform her husband. She'll do that herself. Of course she doesn't tell her husband, though. Because as soon as he walks in, he's all pathetic looking, talking about how when he saw her all helpless lying on the floor, probably looking like she was half dead, if not dead already, he realized how much he really wanted this baby inside of her to survive. Wow, way to make the woman in your life feel valued. In all fairness to him, though, he was planning on divorcing her if it weren't for the child growing inside of her, so it's fair to assume she's just the incubator now. Karen's mother is not happy that her daughter is pregnant with a baby of some other woman's husband. She didn't raise her daughter to be no fool. So now Bianca isn't pregnant anymore, but she's pretending that she still is. Karen's baby is born. She names her Sophie. Seriously? Sophie? Who is she named after, a great aunt? Karen named her older 2 Jenny and Kevin. Solid Zennial older millennial names. And then for the 3rd, she sticks her with Sophie. Sophie Louise. No offense to anyone with the name Sophie or the name Louise, but it's just so random. Why not call her Megan or Ashley or even Sarah with or without an H? I don't care. The real baby was named Rachel. Rachel spelled Rachel. AEL. Where the hell did Sophie come from in the year 1992? Everyone is happy to get a look at the beautiful, healthy baby, even the stuffy old grandmother. David arrives late to deliver a gift and meet his new daughter. The visit doesn't go well, though, because it apparently has just occurred to Karen that this guy is not going to be around as their kid grows into an adult. He's going to be that guy who just pops in when it's convenient and then pops out. His heart isn't going to just burst with love after one look at his offspring. Welcome to reality, Karen. Hope you enjoy your stay. Bianca's acting weird. She doesn't want a baby shower. No way. She hasn't told her husband when she's due, and it's weird he's only now getting around to asking. She says she's due in February. Christmas has already come and passed. Now that she's selected an approximate due date, it's time to figure out how to go about obtaining a child. She tries calling an adoption agency, but much to her surprise, it takes more than a couple of weeks to adopt a child. So she goes to the hospital and lurks around the nursery. The door is locked, so she can't get inside where the babies are, but she does steal a blank birth certificate. Apparently they have those just lying around out in the open in the hospital. So now it's plan C. Look for a position as a nanny. What do you know? Karen just happens to be looking to fill a babysitter position. She runs an ad and is let down by some pleasant-looking older woman who no-shows on her when she's supposed to be heading into work. If you don't do your job, lady, Karen can't do hers. So Karen calls up her mother because her mother has nothing better to do. Apparently she's raised many kids to the age of 18. Interesting. First, we've heard of Karen having siblings. Did they die shortly after graduation? Why did mother make a point that she raised them to voting age? Did they ever make it past that milestone? Grandma babysitter gets a call from Bianca while Karen is at work and schedules an interview for that day. Bianca stops by wearing a wig and a hat. I guess the hat is in case the wig isn't enough of a disguise. She calls herself Marcy Lang. Sounds made up. Grandma babysitter is blown away by her references. She's seen all she needs to, but Karen has the final say, of course. And then another call comes in, and Grandma leaves the baby with a potential future sitter while she goes to answer the phone. Little Kevin is bouncing up and down, wanting to show Marcy the whole damned house. And Marcy kind of follows his lead because now that she's got the baby in her hands, it's time for her to get going. What was she expecting to do if the grandmother hadn't gotten the call? I'm struggling to understand how she would have pulled this off if fate hadn't just intervened like that. But intervene it did, and Marcy manages to scoot without Kevin even noticing that she's absent. When the grandmother gets off the phone, she hears a car drive away and looks out the door to see that Marcy is gone. And so is the baby. She calls up Karen, frantic. At work, there's a waitress named, wait for it, Dinah. Karen comes racing home as soon as she gets the bad news. The cops are digging around in her garden. That's ominous. They say it's standard procedure. David is called at work, and his boss finds out that he'd been banging the former receptionist. Apparently, that's how David and Karen met. She used to work as a receptionist before having to quit and move. Karen and David are suspects because I guess the police aren't buying the grandmother's story about the wannabe nanny. Bianca informs her husband Cal that, guess what? She just up and gave birth, and the hospital has sent her home already. He finds out the baby is a girl. He didn't know that before. Of course he wouldn't have known it because she didn't know it until she decided on a baby to steal, but he's not suspicious at all. The guys who work with Cal just think Bianca is a bad ass for popping one out and going on with her day. David is having to fret over the possibility of his wife finding out about his baby with another woman because Karen's all over the news. What if she drops his name? I mean, he is a potential suspect in a child abduction. Kind of hard to keep that word from getting out. Karen eventually tells Loverboy to go home to wifey. She's done. Karen doesn't understand what the motive is. It takes her a minute to put two and two together. Oh, sure. This woman intends to keep her baby. She gets harassing phone calls for being a sinner. Jenny shows off her new Magnadoodle, and Karen snaps at her for being so insensitive as to make artwork disappear in front of a grieving mother whose daughter just disappeared. Kevin blames himself, and there's the little touching scene where the mother says they're not to blame, and they've got to be strong and truck on. Karen decides to show a photo of her daughter on the news because we all know how easy it is to tell one baby from another when we're passing them on the street. Nancy McKeon gives the big monologue of the movie when she tells the remaining reporters that she doesn't care what they get out of this coverage. They're working for her now to get little Sophie delivered safely home to her. Bianca sees her sketch in a newspaper and is concerned. A colleague of Cal starts investigating behind the scenes and finds out the doctor wasn't on duty at the time of the birth, nor are there any hospital records of this baby's birth. His wife thinks she had herself a home birth. They decide to probe more. In Bianca's home, the baby won't stop fussing. Bianca almost smothers her with her hand before coming to her senses. Later, Bianca overhears Cal on the phone calling the doctor. That's not good. They've named the baby Marie. What is it with these auntie names? Cal's colleague and his wife decide to go all Hardy Boy and Nancy Drew. After a visit to Bianca's house, they can tell the baby is not 3 days old. The wife thinks maybe it was a shady adoption, but the husband sees the sketch of Marcy Lang in the paper and draws some more hair on her. It's a match. The police get a call from the couple. The guy's the Air Force chief of security. He must mean business. The cops drop by Bianca and Cal's home and recognize the car. They confront the suspect and her husband. It doesn't take Cal long to connect the dots. Karen gets a call on her mobile phone. What's she doing with a mobile phone in 1992? And what is she doing talking on the phone while driving? Does she think her daughter's in heaven? Is she hoping to get there faster? The cops are trying to cajole her into coming to the station, but she thinks they're just going to hassle her more. Then she gets a call from her mother saying the baby has been located. And initially, Karen just jumps to the conclusion the baby is alive before having a near heart attack. Oh, what if she's dead? Bianca tells Cal she did it because she didn't want a divorce. Well, guess that divorce is definitely going through now, you psycho. At the police station, Karen is reunited with her daughter. She instantly recognizes her, but she looks like any other bald-headed baby to me. Mama Karen insists on taking off the baby's clothes because they belong to that other woman who shall not be named, probably because she doesn't even know her name yet. They leave the station to light applause. The police act like they knew she was innocent of any wrongdoing all along. Yeah, right. Get that smug look off your face. You didn't find the baby. Some nosy everyday citizen did the work for you. The movie ends with a standard PSA on how thousands of kids are abducted by strangers every year and it's only getting worse. Nice try with that scare tactic. But hey, you've got to get people watching your movie somehow. Why not terrify them into thinking they're educating themselves on the prevalent hidden dangers of suburban life? Baby Snatcher has a classic 90s TV movie plot. I give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. And yes, I'm grading it on a curve. We see a very similar plot line in the 1993 movie Empty Cradle, starring Kate Jackson and Aunt Becky. And what's crazy is that both are based on different true stories. There's also a movie from 2023 called Stolen Baby, The Murder of Heidi Broussard, starring Emily Osment, about a woman who kills her friend and steals her baby. Althea Williams and I did a review on that movie about a year or so ago. You can check it out on her channel, At Your Daddy House. So, to end, I just want to say, rest in peace, Michael Madsen. My thoughts are with his family, including sister Virginia Madsen. She has been in several feature films and TV movies as well. She was the star of the horror movie Candyman in the early 90s. She was in the acclaimed film Sideways, and she was also in the TV movie Just Ask My Children in the 90s. That's it for today, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe. Have a great day. Hope to see you next time.